NASCAR has a consistency problem, and one of its biggest stars just said it out loud. Denny Hamlin is calling out the system after watching Kyle Busch walk away from a controversial wreck with no penalty. And now the question isn't just about one incident. It's about whether NASCAR is enforcing rules or just reacting to what drivers admit. Late in the race at Texas, Kyle Busch and Hunter Nemechek made contact while battling mid-pack. The situation escalated in turn 3, where Nemechek was sent into the wall and dropped down the order. No penalty was issued to Busch. Nemechek blamed Busch publicly. Busch responded with data, suggesting the incident wasn't his fault. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin pointed to the situation as an example of inconsistency in how NASCAR handles these moments. This frustration didn't come out of nowhere. Back in 2023, Hamlin admitted on his own podcast that he intentionally wrecked Ross Chastain. Within days, NASCAR fined him and took away points not because of what they saw on track, but because of what he said after. That moment set a precedent. Intent matters, but only when it's proven. Now fast forward, Busch is involved in a similar looking situation, but takes a completely different approach. No admission, no clear evidence, no penalty. And that's exactly where the tension is building, because inside the garage, drivers understand something very clearly. What you say might matter more than what you do. This is bigger than Hamlin versus Busch. This is about how NASCAR defines intent and how it enforces it. Right now, the system relies heavily on proof. If NASCAR can't clearly establish that a move was intentional, they hesitate to step in. That protects drivers from unfair penalties, but it also creates a loophole because drivers are learning. They know that as long as they avoid admitting fault, they have a better chance of avoiding punishment, and that changes behavior. Instead of accountability, you get strategy not just on the track, but in how drivers handle media, radio, and public comments. From a competitive standpoint, that's dangerous territory because it creates two different standards, one for what actually happens on track and another for what can be proven after the fact. Hamlin's point cuts right to that. If enforcement depends on confession, not action, then the system isn't fully in control of the racing. It's reacting to it. But here's the counterpoint. NASCAR also has to be careful not to over-police. Aggression is part of the sport. Contact is part of the sport. And if officials start penalizing every borderline move, they risk stripping away the edge that defines cup racing. So this becomes a balancing act. Protect fairness without sanitizing competition. And right now, that balance looks unstable. Fans are split right down the middle. Some agree with Hamlin. They believe NASCAR is inconsistent and that similar incidents should lead to similar consequences regardless of what drivers say publicly. Others side with Busch. They see this as hard racing, nothing more. Analysts are also divided. Some believe this is normal for the sport, self-policing, physical and emotional. Others think NASCAR is sending mixed signals that could confuse drivers moving forward. And when both sides have valid arguments, the controversy only grows. NASCAR stays consistent with its current approach, focuses on clear evidence, and drivers adjust by racing aggressively but carefully. The system holds even if it's not perfect. Drivers fully exploit the gap. Aggressive moves increase, accountability decreases, and NASCAR is forced into a major rule shift mid-season to regain control. And if that happens, it won't just affect one race, it could reshape how the entire field competes. Right now, this isn't just about Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin. It's about how NASCAR defines fairness in a sport built on aggression. So here's the question. Should penalties be based on what drivers do or what they admit? And if the system stays the way it is, are we going to see more drivers push the limit knowing exactly where that line really is? Drop your take in the comments. And for full breakdowns on the biggest stories shaping NASCAR right now, stay locked in with SPORTSWIRE USA.